Welcome to the Maverick Paradox podcast, where we explore what it is to be a maverick and discover effective modes of leadership. I am Judith, and my mission is to propel the maverick mindset into a world where character and integrity will ultimately have a higher premium than personality and bureaucracy. So thank you for joining me on this journey. If you would like to continue with me, then please subscribe to my podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or one of the other popular podcast platforms. And today we depart from our usual conversation with format to allow me just to talk about mavericks. Hope you enjoy. Mavericks are amazing people. Since 2005, I've been defining them as willfully independent people. That's right, willfully independent. Mavericks are talented, truthful to the point of bluntness, visionary, with an uncanny ability to exactly see the hole in the argument that is being presented to them, and they know exactly how to fix it. Mavericks break rules, not out of spite, but because the rules, they just don't work. They are highly goal-orientated, charismatic if they choose to be, and will question anything and everything. The most common question posed by a maverick is, why? Mavericks do not compromise their standards to fit in, and therefore cannot be managed conventionally. Despite the fact that they often do not utilize their talents effectively, mavericks tend to be the top performers in companies and within business. The common traits of low boredom and impatience means that mavericks often have trouble articulating effectively what they want or what they mean, and this can often cause high turnover, low morale and poor business performance within companies. If the maverick runs their own business, they can depress their company's performance by not focusing on their own business because they're too busy working in it, and by not building sufficient reputation and credibility to grow advocates and gain referrals. You see, mavericks are easily bored, and they need to be given constant challenges to ensure that they are as productive and engaged as they could be. They tend to come up with innovative solutions, and their way of working just doesn't fit the established corporate norms. The maverick is unafraid to question authority, buck trends, or do what is expected, and understands that they are a square peg in a round hole. They have realized that they are underutilized, bored in their roles, and that they often act inappropriately in the circumstances that they find themselves in. You see, most people are surprised to learn that there are two types of maverick: the socialized and extreme maverick, which share some characteristics with each other but respond differently to stimuli. These mavericks are willfully independent at all times. Extreme mavericks sometimes have situational narcissism as a comorbid condition. Mavericks have a willful sense of independence and have a hard time working for others, especially companies that are overly rule-focused. They are highly focused on getting what they want, and extreme mavericks will manipulate others, and socialized mavericks will use influence, seeking a genuine win-win solution. Successful leaders are able to utilize the three power bases to generate successful challenges to the status quo. People generally ask whether mavericks are born or whether they're made. And perhaps we can look at it in two ways. There's the maverick personality. A maverick personality is where a person is willfully independent all the time and in all circumstances. They are keen to make their mark and do things their way, and often blaze innovation and lateral thinking to the projects and problems that they're working on. They often exasperate the people around them, and peers can feel that they can't keep up or become hurt if an objective comment from a maverick is delivered in their usual blunt and brutally honest way. And then you can think of the maverick trait or tendency. And this is when an individual behaves in a maverick way. Maverick behaviorists are when a conformist behaves like a maverick in one sphere of their lives, and this is usually at work. The maverick may challenge the status quo and insist that the company works from a strong sense of integrity. They take risks that conformist employees shirk at and push harder and seek challenges that others feel are insane. There are very few mavericks within the workplace, which is just as well, although it is possible and even advisable to have whole teams working in a maverick way. You know, like a maverick behaviourist. This may seem like a dichotomy, however, when you have teams of individuals refusing to work in a substandard way, for example. Real innovation can be forthcoming. It is advantageous to have a workforce refuse to accept a bad status quo in exchange for a quiet life. Maverick personalities can be difficult to handle and often need skilled maverick leaders to influence them in the right way. Few organisations are able to handle more than a handful of mavericks at any one time. If you are interested in learning how you can have true maverick leadership within your organisation, please feel free to contact me at inquiry@maverickparadox.com. I love talking about and writing about mavericks. If you want to find out more about the willfully independent person, the extreme and the socialised maverick, then you can check out my book, The Maverick Paradox, The Secret Power Behind Successful Leaders, which is available from Amazon as a paperback or Kindle edition. Alternatively, you can keep listening in to these podcasts. Follow me on LinkedIn or Facebook. Find the exclusive Facebook group, The Maverick Paradox, and see whether you can join. Or follow me on my website, themaverickparadox.com. Mavericks are amazing people and can really change your business around. Thank you once again for tuning into the Maverick Paradox podcast. Hope you have enjoyed listening to me explain a little about mavericks. If you would like to learn more about mavericks and leadership, then please subscribe to my podcast on iTunes. If you subscribe to my podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or one of the other popular podcast platforms, then you can listen in to more Alone with Judith episodes, or find out who I'll be talking to with my conversation with format. Find out how willful independence can ultimately change all our futures. So, join me next time. I will be with an interesting guest ready to explore the mysteries of leadership. Thanks again, and see you soon.